big picture, we really need to understand difficulty level.
Okay.
And difficulty can be they hop in a panel van and they go to the convenience stores in their territory and they fill shelves with devil dogs on one end of the difficulty spectrum. And on the other end of the difficulty spectrum, they're selling $1 million plus capital equipment or services to the CEO of Fortune 1000 companies against formidable competition, and they don't have the top of the line product to sell. Okay, so, and there's a whole lot of stuff in between.
It's a small little gap there.
Yeah, so the things to consider are who by title do they need to get to? And of course, the higher up it goes, the higher the difficulty level is. How much money do they need to ask for? And the more money they need to ask for, the higher the difficulty level goes. How much competition is there? And the more competition there is, the more difficult it is. How much resistance is there initially when they call or show up for the first time? How much interest is there? How much do they have to overcome in terms of where their product is on the spectrum of fantastic to eh? So each one of those things present challenges. The length of the sales cycle, how many people get involved in the decision-making process. Sales cycle length goes from one call close to relatively short, 30 days, to a average sales cycle of 3 to 6 months, to a long sales cycle of 6 to 18 months, and then government.
You're right, exactly. Or K-12. So there's so many different parts and pieces to that. And if we broke it up to say, let's say 4 simplistic, and I think this is where a lot of people look at it. If we broke it up into 4 simplistic, you have that small SMB, right? So let's call it that small SMB. So it's going to be a month to 3 month kind of sales cycle. Then you have maybe more of a complex, call it an enterprise sale. Then you have an account sale where once you win the business, then it's cross-sell, upsell, maintain, and they're going to be your account managers, your customer success managers doing that. And then how do you do, say, a commodity type sale? Because there's so much of that out there, and especially as they're trying to commoditize everyone. And by the way, you do have a commodity, right? I know everyone out there is like, oh, we're not commoditized. You are, because if you can't differentiate yourself too terribly much because you're cutting edge technology or some, fix it better than anyone else, that lasts about 3 months, and then you get picked up as a commodity again because they shove it down there. Are those really the 4 segments that we should look at in type of sales methodology or sales process? And then we can unpack the complexity and all that stuff. I mean, because there's so much in this, Dave, how do we start to unpack that a bit?